This is Dave McCain with the Right Tree Genealogy doing a update video on the FTDNA Discover. Going through a couple of slides here and see what we can find out. I took a few screenshots before the update was made, and then I took a few screenshots after the update was made. Now the opening screen, you go down the bottom, you can look at your Discover More button down at the bottom of the page. No different on this page. There is a difference on when you click that button. When you click it, it was more wordy the way it was presented when you first saw it, but you still have the same bar in the middle of the screen and you type in what you're going to research. Looking at the after screen, they made it a little bit bigger at the top. They wanted to make sure you knew that it was a free access for you to be able to take a look at your haplogroup and find out the 7 items that they provide for you. But one thing they did do down the bottom here, are you closer to kin to Einstein or Abraham Lincoln? Those are the type of things you see. Next slide I'm going to go into is actually one of my higher level SNPs that define my lineage 1 in the project I'm in. So we have over 70 testers in this area. This is the defining SNP for that group. This is the before, so you had your graphical representation that this was the one preceded it or upstream, and then you got the L196. Well, the L196 also down in this corner shows the number of testers that are beneath the L196. Looking at the after screen, they moved the 7 selectable categories that you can click on over to the left hand side for you and put the text separate from the graphical representation. Still the same information in general. Now there is a little change that you'll see in the scientific data related to some dates, but for an overall look, it just separates the graphics from the text. And then we go into the notable haplogroup, so the connections you have. Well, again, this is what it looked like before. And there's this little arrow bar here, and if you had clicked this beforehand, it would take you to different notable people that you were connected to, but that was really not super intuitive. So looking at the next upgrade they did here, they made it real clear. If you said, I want to see who I'm connected to, or who at some point in the history was connected to me, I could click on Abraham Lincoln here, I can click on Albert Perry, and I can look at the information about them, but there's a quick click button now instead of the bar scrolling through. So that's again another visual change that they made. Now let's go into the scientific data. So now that you're looking at the scientific data, it gives you kind of a timed most recent common ancestor, which a lot of people have been asking for. I want to make a note here in this little block area. There's a few changes here, a little bit of changes right here, in particular changes on this chart. There are a few changes over here, a little bit different as well. This is the new one. This is the after. So they made this block a little smoother, a little easier to read, that hey, this is your interval, these are the years before present, and this is the time frame. Well, if you note, if we look at this one, 1221 to 1584 and 1291 to 1530, well, now it's 1220 to 1583 and 1290 to 1530. So there was a change in the actual confidence interval for the 95% and for the 99%, and there's where the changes took place. Most of the apparent changes are ease of use, or able for you to find things quicker on the page, and appearance, just making it smoother and not as clunky looking of the pages. Not functionality. I don't really see a lot of functionality changes in the screens that I had before and the screens I have now. And another point here is expect continued tweaks. So they're going to still kind of change some of the pages as they receive feedback, because this is still beta. And the big thing though is to look at this one. We're going to see changes as we get new kits in there. So some of those estimates on the dates are going to change if we get new testers, particularly in our branched area. But also, as the algorithm changes for other branches, not even in ours, if someone tests upstream of us, let's just say 15 SNPs up from us, there's a change that's made there. We may see changes, so we should go in fairly frequently and take a look at these things. Let's continue learning together.